Hey everyone, okay, so today's video is slightly different to my normal ones where I talk over a makeup video. In this one, there is no talking. Obviously the makeup is self-explanatory. What I wanted to do for this video was, and I brought V back, and what I wanted to do was just ask her questions and listen to her answers about her childhood, about her marriage, about her friendships. Because oftentimes as we get older, we aren't asked questions about the wonderful memories that we have. And in this video, that's all there is, memories. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye. We are off. Back again. Back by popular demand.
Oh, God.
What's it like reading all those comments?
Well, it was lovely because some people I didn't expect to hear from, like the two girls in London that used to come and stay. She said, poor me, she said, I was floating around looking at bits to look up, and all of a sudden I saw this wonderful woman. I thought, oh my God, it's me.
Just think, all these comments from all these people all over the world.
I know.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
It is extraordinary, and that one nasty.
Of course not. Why would they be nasty?
Well, I don't know, I think people get sort of a
No.
bit jealous, no?
No, people are lovely.
Yeah, they are. Well, they're certainly shown to me over this. Everything they've said is just wonderful. Even friends of Robin's that I don't know, you know.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's just a lovely little boost, isn't it?
Isn't it? I'm glad I didn't have this done when I was young. I would have thought it was too good for everybody.
Can you imagine?
No, you're not good enough. I remember when I first started going out with Terry, my father didn't like him at all. And every time we walked in the house, my father would pick his newspaper up and he said to me one day, you can do better than him. And I thought,
no one can do better than Terry.
No. 66 years later.
Exactly.
And he came up to me one day and said, you can do better than that. Don't think so.
Exactly. Where did you meet Terry?
I used to go to a dance out near the park, and I forgot what it's called now, but it was a bit of an upper class one, you know, not like the ones in town,
Right.
from Ready. And most of the people there were sort of quite posh.
Oh.
Yeah. And I used to go Tuesday and Thursday with my friend. When I used to go in town with my friend, a couple of times Terry'd walk by with a friend and he'd say, hi Cora, and she'd say, hi Terry. And so I sort of knew his face, you know, and when he asked me to dance, I thought it was because he knew me. And I said to him afterwards, I said, did you pick me because you knew me? He said, I'd never seen you before in my life. He said, when I walked in, I saw you straight away. And his friend was with him. He said, oh, look at her. He said, yeah, she got lovely hair. I had long hair then.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was black, you know, really dark. And he said, she's got lovely hair. And his friend I knew. And I said to him afterwards, did you pick me because you knew me? He said, no, I'd never set eyes on you before. I saw time after time you'd walk past Cora and I in town, because all we did in those days was walk up and down and go in one of the cafes and walk up and down again, you know. And he said, no, I'd never seen you before.
That was the first time you met him?
Yes, yeah.
So when did you see him after that?
Well, the first night he danced with me, and I thought he danced with me because he knew me. Now, I didn't live far. I just go along Corporation Road and turn down the road. So if ever I was on my own, I'd run all the way. So he decided he was going to ask me if he could walk me home. And he stayed at that side. He said, all of a sudden, this flash came up and you were gone. He said, and I couldn't chase you because it would look as though I was...
he was running after you in a bad way.
Exactly. So he said, so we waited a whole week.
Oh.
Yeah. And he said, yeah, I was dying to come again. And I went in, I was sat on like a radiator talking to some of my friends. And he came over and he said, can I have this dance? I said, well, the music hasn't started yet.
Oh, he was such a gentleman.
I know.
Oh, I love him. And that's how you met?
Yeah. And then he said, can I take you home this time? I said, yes. And we were talking. And he said, oh, he said, I leaned over to kiss you. He said, you didn't even pucker up your lips. I said, I thought you were cheeky.
Is that what you said to him?
Yes.
Close your eyes, darling.
Having someone kiss you, then it was almost as bad as it is sleeping with somebody now.
What, back then?
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose it was.
Yeah.
Times have changed,
Oh,
haven't
it's
they?
amazing, isn't it?
So, how long were you seeing Terry before he asked you to marry him?
I think he was doing his national service, and he was coming home quite a lot because they didn't send. He was the only one of my friends whose husbands or boyfriends weren't sent abroad because he played water polo and he played rugby.
Yeah.
So they kept him here, and so he used to come home every weekend. And then I don't know. We were stood in our hall at home, and he said to me, we were talking about how we felt, and he said to me, "You know, I love you very much."
Oh.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure whether I did or not. I knew I liked being with him and I felt comfortable and happy and enjoyed all his attention.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really until the morning, I probably told you this, did I, that he was going going away for his, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And I wasn't too bothered, you know. And I was sat in town and I saw the number 9 bus come in and he jumped off the back and he had his case in his hand and he waved to me. Oh my God, the feeling I had. It was physical. I suddenly realised all this lovely attention I'd had for the past year almost, I think it was, that we'd been together, was going. And by the time he got to my side of the road, I was sobbing. I thought I'd be consoling him, he was consoling me.
And that's when you knew you loved him?
That's when I knew, yeah.
Oh. And how long were you married?
Sorry?
How long were you married?
How long did I marry?
How many years were you married?
66.
66 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it?
And
When you think about it.
Absolutely. I surprise myself sometimes. 66 years is a huge amount of time.
It is the longest time.
Yeah. And it was all lovely.
Well, Terry was such a nice man.
He was.
He was the loveliest man.
He was, yeah. I was so lucky that he came into my life. And to meet him, he was as gentle and kind and sweet.
He was, wasn't he? And he wasn't. I always think Terry wasn't a man of many words.
No, he
but
wasn't.
They were always the right ones,
Yes,
weren't they?
yeah.
Because he was just such a nice man.
Yeah.
I told you, I remember, and it's such a funny thing to remember because, close your eyes, Danny. Obviously, I've known you for, 16 years.
Yes, yeah.
And Terry.
Yeah.
But I remember us coming back from Payton.
Right.
And I've probably told you, and he was just in a grumpy mood.
Was he?
And we were traveling all the way back, and he was just tired and irritated. And we got out of the car.
Was he old then, or was he?
He was poorly at that time, yeah. And he was. We got out of the car, and he was just grumpy.
Yeah.
And he leans into my ear, and whispers, "Sorry, I'm grumpy." And I just remember thinking that was just such a sweet thing to do,
yes.
Because. He was just a kind.
You couldn't hide it, really.
No, he was a kind person.
And he probably said the same to me when he got home.
Oh, I've no doubt. So, how old were you when the World War II started?
I was 7.
7 years old.
And I was 12 when it finished.
And do you remember much about it?
Oh, everything.
Do you?
But I was never afraid.
Ever?
Ever, no.
Is that because your mum and dad didn't install the fear
I
into
was
you?
6-year-old, and it all seemed very exciting to me. And I was telling Andrew one day, and the 2 boys were then about 6 and 7. He said, "Well, imagine these. They'd think it was wonderful, wouldn't they? All these cars coming along with the American soldiers in it, going to the docks, and getting up in the morning after being in this shelter all night and listening to the things going on overhead, and going out in the morning picking up all the shrapnel."
And you didn't find that scary?
Never at all.
And I think that's a testament to your parents.
It must have been.
Who didn't decide not to install the fear of God in you about it.
No, they didn't.
And I think that's quite a nice thing to do.
Yeah. And for some reason, we never found out why my father wasn't called up. He went with all the other dads in the road, and they were all taken, and they had to go straight away. And he came home and said, "Well, I don't know why, but they don't want me." And but he had to join the I forgot what it was called now. So he had to be out at night checking that people had their windows closed, And I remember saying to my mother, "If ever you're worried about something, just rip the curtains down," because he said somebody would be there immediately.
That was what it was?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I remember because each year we have our clocks go forward, don't
Yes,
they?
yeah.
And I remember you telling me that back in the war, they jumped forward by 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, no, that's not possible.
Yeah.
But it was. That's why it was light at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was lovely. We used to be out playing in the street at 11 o'clock at night.
How amazing to remember all that.
I remember all the good things, you know. It was, I don't ever remember. I mean, I know this huge bomb went on just down the road from us, and it demolished about 4 streets, the ones we used to play in, and a lot of people.
Just close your eyes, darling. Yeah.
And Andrew I had to give a talk at the boys' school one day, what it was like to be a child during the war, and I told them about this. And I said, there's what's the thing where, maybe I'll think of it in a minute. They've put people saving lives and teaching you how to get out of fires.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a big one of those there.
Right.
So I was telling the boys. So Andrew decided, after hearing me talk about this, to take me down there and to show them. So he came to the house. He said, looking at my number on the house. He said, Christ, I never realised you were this close to it. I said, if he had dropped that bomb seconds earlier, it would have landed right on us.
How scary.
Yeah. I still don't think it was scary.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't even think about it, did you?
It was only years later I thought, geez, we were close. And I can remember my father carrying me out in my nightie to show me all the smashed windows.
Really?
Yeah, they were all smashed, the front of our windows and all down the street, because nobody had things driving in those days. And all night long you could hear the tramp, tramp, tramp of feet, because they'd heard and they were coming to see, and there were a lot of people killed. There was one boy that Tim was in school with, and his whole family was killed except him.
Oh, that's terrible.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Just close your eyes for me. God, the things you the things you saw.
I know.
It's incredible, isn't it? When you think about it now, how, extraordinary it really is.
Yeah, Barbara always says to me, you ought to write a book.
Yeah. You have enough stories.
Yes.
Do you know, one of my favourite is when, and I don't know how old you were, but this was when you knew Wendy.
Yeah.
So you would have been very young.
Yeah.
And it was when you told me you went to the beach with Wendy, and Wendy was wearing a bikini in town. And remember, this is back in...
Well, she was sort of 15 and I was 17, 18, something like that. And actually, those things where we had 2 pieces had only just come out. Nobody was... I remember seeing the first person with one on, thinking, oh my God, imagine wearing that. Of course, she was one of the first. And we were walking through town.
And that was also what was so lovely about her, that she
was very loving to people she liked.
And I only ever met Wendy a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I found her to be so funny.
Yeah.
She was just, she was just a wicked soul.
Yeah. She used to help me
in a fun way.
Yeah.
And I loved that, because I just thought it was such fun.
Yeah.
Wendy was so lucky to meet Ivan.
Oh,
I loved Ivan.
I know.
He was he was so kind.
Is, she said to me once, oh, I just wish he was 10 years younger. And yet she died before him.
Yeah. And the first time I ever met Ivan, I just fell head over heels in love with him, because he was so kind and funny. He was so funny.
Yeah.
This little tiny man.
Yes. And
just full of absolute joy.
Yeah. And everybody he met loved him.
Yeah, nobody disliked Ivan.
Nobody. He said to me one day, why do so many people... And he said, the thing is, even their children like me. They come running up when I come in. And I said, well, you're a very lovable person.
Look up, darling. Thank you. I'm going to do some mascara again. I'm always shocked when I do mascara on you.
Really?
Because I think, you're going to have... Because you don't wear mascara much.
No, very little, because I hate having to take it off at night.
And then I put mascara on you and I realised your lashes just stick straight.
Yes.
It's like they don't need curling.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's incredible. Look down, darling.
There's lots about me I didn't know.
The whole world has seen it now.
Oh, I know, it's amazing. Oh, I wish Terry would be here.
Can you imagine Terry's face if he'd be sat there reading those comments about his wife?
And he'd say, they don't have to tell me when. I know all of this already.
I love Terry.
Yeah,
he was so fun.
Yeah.
He just has such a good dark sense of humour. And because he wasn't overly talkative. You know, he didn't just yap all day
No,
long.
no.
But when he did, it was worth listening
Yes.
to. Look down, darling. Thank you. And look down. You've got very, very green eyeshadow today.
Ooh,
Wait
put it
till
on
you-
already?
Yeah, I've done your eyeshadow.
Oh,
Wait until
right.
you see it. It's really green. You'll love it. We used your one.
All right.
And then what we did, so we used that one there,
Yeah.
but then we put a bit of that on top.
Oh, right.
So it's
Yes.
really,
Bright.
oh, it's
Yeah,
beautiful. As you well know.
I swear, I will, yeah.
I mean, you could be on death row and you still have your makeup on.
Exactly. I can't die, I've got my makeup on.
I'm actually just going to do just a tiny bit more mascara
Okay.
because it just looks very, very nice on you. And I'm not used to seeing you with really black lashes.
I know, I've never used it, I don't think.
It is sometimes, I mean, mascara is a bugger
Yeah.
because you've got to really take your makeup off.
Yes, exactly.
But it does a world of difference. It's
I
amazing.
should use it more.
Right, if you just look forward,
Right.
just going to go over the edge, okay, darling?
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, how old was Tim when Tim got TB?
He was 8.
8 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was taking him everywhere because he was limping, you know. And then in the end, they said he's just putting it on. And I was in bed one night and he came and he said, Mummy, he said, have you got a cardboard box about that big? So I said, yeah. I went downstairs. What do you want it for? Well, he said, if I put that over my foot, the blankets won't touch it.
And that's when you knew there was something seriously wrong with his...
And I used the money I put by to pay the rent, not the rent. And we went privately. That's the first time I'd ever done anything privately because I'd been everywhere in Newport.
Well, and
and,
you could-
doctors, and they just did nothing.
And you couldn't afford it.
No, I had to make up that money then.
Yeah.
And as soon as we walked in, he said, it's either rheumatoid arthritis or it's TB. And I went, what? He said, wish for the TB. Rheumatoid arthritis is progressive and won't cure. The other one, now we've discovered, it'll take a year, but he won't die from it.
And he was in hospital for a while, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
a long time.
But he got better.
Yeah.
I mean, you would never know it now because
No.
he's even after his accident, he's still so energetic and
he's working all
movable,
the time.
and yeah, you never would have known, would
Yeah,
you?
no.
Never would have known.
No. And he was in crutches,
Perfect.
and he had a car came to pick him up every morning to go to school.
Right, let's show you that. See how bright your eyes look
Oh my goodness, yes.
and how dark your lashes look.
Oh my gosh, yes, they do curl up, don't they?
They do.
Well, I'll have to start using it. That's a lovely colour.
It's a beautiful colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's just mixing those two together. I put the lightest one on first.
Yes.
And then the
And that
slightly
one on the
deep,
top.
just a tiny bit over
Yeah.
it. Everybody was asking in the comments for your usual makeup.
Oh right.
So the green eyeshadow, your bright lip,
yeah.
and I think that's
That's what
what
they want
people,
to see.
yeah, that's what people want to see.
Oh well.
Because this is, this is what you wear every day.
Yeah, it
this
is.
This
Yeah.
is your everyday
Yeah.
makeup. I think you look amazing.
Oh dear, honestly, I can't believe what's happened to me over the last 6 months.
It's good though, isn't it?
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm thoroughly
Wipe
enjoying it.
wipe your tooth. Tiny bit of lipstick on it. Right, darling. And now you have to grace the world with your presence. Look straight into the camera.
Right.
Wink. Smile. There you go. You're all done. That's beautiful.
Okay.
You look absolutely glamorous.
Do I?
You look ridiculously glamorous. Now you're going to sit down and have some food and watch a film.
Can't think of anything better.
Exactly.
What would I do without you?
Ah, you manage.
I don't think so.
Believe we forgot your bloody earrings.
They look all right.
They look absolutely fabulous.
Good. And they go well with this, don't
Yeah,
they?
I mean, otherwise, people would have been like, where's the jewellery?
Did you?
Exactly, wouldn't have been you, would it, without the jewellery?
No.
Right, darling, you know the drill. Little look in the camera, a little wink, and a smile. There you go.
All done.
They've seen this once. We're going to keep this bit in so they know exactly what you like. Where's my earrings? Where's my earrings?